Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota and Drool giving you a shoutcast in Game 1 between Fnatic's TT1 versus Mondragon. So this is Mondragon versus TT1 here on Tal'Darim Altar, and it looks to be a promising matchup as Tal'Darim Altar, one of the largest maps in the map pool right now, and we should see a lot of macro play. What do you think, Drool?
Yeah, absolutely. The only concern I have about that is that especially a lot of Zergs really like to punish greedy Protoss play on this map because you think like, it's such a large map. I can go Nexus first and that stuff, but oftentimes that can go wrong if the Zerg decides to Ling Roach all in you or something and you haven't wall off in time and all that stuff. So I would really like to see a TT1 with a like Forge Gateway expand or Forge expand or something like that, because oftentimes a Nexus first can go wrong quite badly.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a Nexus first. I think we've seen a lot of games where the Protoss player tried to go for Nexus first, and it looked like it would work out for a little bit of time, but then, Roaches came in, Zerglings came in, they were able to slip by, get through these critical areas here. You can take a look at TT1 now. TT1 not getting any buildings just quite yet. No, it looks like he's going to be moving out with a probe, and he is going to be setting up a Forge first. So it is going to be Forge first instead of a Nexus first, and I like this play. If you need to be defensive, you can be defensive. If you need to be offensive, you can also, well, you can't really be offensive, but at least you have enough defense to protect your Nexus.
Yeah, we saw Mondragon planting down his hatchery just a second ago, and he did check with the drone for a little cannon behind the mineral line, but TT1 did scout counterclockwise, so he will scout Mondragon last. So that's very good for our Zerg here. And I want to comment just a bit on the players here because Mondragon had been doing quite well lately. He made it like he had a cool appearance in the TSL. And
Oh,
never mind, TT1, what's up with you? That looks like Combat X play to me. I've seen that only from him so far. But two pylons, holy crap, that's gonna be quite insane here.
yeah, actually, it looks like a lot of drones have already been pulled off, and even though he didn't deal any real damage, he did stop 7 drones from mining for a little bit of time. 1 drone already coming back over, but with that double pylon build, it's really difficult for a Zerg player to get a decent surround on one of the pylons to try to take it down. And then even if you get 1 pylon down, cannons are already warping in. And then if, TT1 was just very, very specific, very careful, he could try to, cancel them at the last minute and then rewarp them in, get some cannons up, and then perhaps deny the expansion. But that was more of a Twitch reaction by by Mondragon. And Mondragon did pull a decent number of drones off. The pylons were canceled, and we'll see whether or not it throws Mondragon off his game.
Yeah, I thought that was quite the equal exchange, if you want to call it so. Uh, and whatever TT1 means by that. But yeah, I mean, both are looking quite fine right now. Uh, and yeah, they're Mondragon getting his queens right now, droning up, getting the first few lings out. Will probably occupy the watchtowers. We see a really good overlord spread from Mondragon already. He's checking with his Zergling for any for anything that could be going on, for any early proxy pylons or stuff like that. And yeah, TT1 with the Forge expand is gonna be sitting quite nice here as well.
Yeah, pretty much looking at this, TT1 is he says he's really far behind, but it doesn't really feel that he's that too far behind. He is behind on food right now, currently sitting at 29 food compared to 36. Harvester count wise, 26 to 27. He can get back into this game rather quickly. He has 1 photon cannon. He should be training up a zealot though to try to position in between the Cybernetics core and that gateway to make sure that Zerglings do not do a run by. Not quite sure why that isn't in play, but it looks like TT1 saving up just a lot of minerals, going for that sentry first, and no stalker, no zealot, going for sentry first instead. And if Mondragon tried to just transition into a 2-base roach play, I think Mondragon could easily take down TT1 at this point.
Yeah, sure, but Mondragon so far has no idea what's going on really. He sees, yeah, he had a little peek at the wall of he's gonna come around with the Ling as well, and but yeah, I mean, there's no reason for Mondragon to do that. He knows that he is quite safe, and Yeah, there's no rocks at the third because this is the GSL version, so he can take that freely too. It would really surprise me to see a really strong Roach attack here, but what I'm wondering is what TT1 is planning because we see him spending a lot of his gas on sentries right now and an upgrade, so we might see a strong gateway attack. And yeah, we should see at least 3 or 4 gateways being added right now. 3 go down, so yeah, with the +1, I think TT1 is gearing up for some nice gateway play here.
Yeah, I think TT1's going to buy a lot of time with that Forge. He does have double Chrono Boost, but he's not Chrono Boosting the weapons upgrade. He does have that, or sorry, Mondragon does have that third base here, but unfortunately, he spawned counterclockwise or clockwise to his opponent, so that third base is a little bit closer as opposed to if he spawned on the far side. We'll see if TT1 tries to punish that. We may see a hatchery go after that other expansion on the low side that has the full 8 mineral patches and 2 gas, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Mondragon going for the third base there as opposed to trying to go for the third base that is a little bit too close to TT1.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. It has the full minerals and it has, yeah, like you said, it's farther away, so really almost a no-brainer to take this one. And we see a Baneling nest from Mondragon that went up together with those Evo chambers, and he's now researching speed as well as, Baneling speed as well as the melee +1 and Carapace. And TT1 sitting on 8 sentries here, now getting his Robotech and a bunch more gateways, so he will probably be going for a very strong 2-base timing here with all those production facilities up. And yeah, Infestation bit coming for Mondragon, or in fact is up already. So he's going for the very popular Infestor Ling Baneling play, and that's going to be very, very strong.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to whether or not TT1's able to get all of those force fields down in time to prevent those Banelings from finding their targets. Also, it looks like we're in addition getting Immortals into this group as well. So Immortals, if they're able to lead the way against Banelings, they do a surprising amount of damage. Immortals have a decent amount of burst damage, 20 damage per shot, and then they're able to detonate the Baneling. Even if the Baneling gets close, the Overshield does absorb a lot of that damage, in addition to the fact that the Immortal has a decent size radius, so that I don't think the units generally clump up around an Immortal nearly as much. But we are going to get some Zerglings perhaps trying to run in from the backside as TT1 pushes in from the front. No, the Zerglings deciding to back off here. The hatchery is up at the 11 o'clock position, but no drones have been transferred just quite yet. There is an observer, so these creep tumors will slowly bleed to death.
Here come the Lings, though, into the main. And completely unopposed, nothing there by TT1, and that's already horrible. Too many Lings to really get a good probes around here. And oh my god, so many probes are going to die here. 11 workers killed, 12 workers killed already for TT1, or for Mondragon rather. He's now splitting his Lings and morphing them into Banes while attacking the natural as well. That's horrible for TT1, and I don't think he can break the front of Mondragon here.
Yeah, this is looking really bad. I think TT1, he mentally thought that he was really far behind, and because of that, he just ended up becoming very far behind. The Banelings are on a roll. 3 of them to the natural expansion, 2 of them into the main base, and this is going to be very bad. Oh, it's just so many workers killed. 35 workers killed between all the bases. TT1 somehow saving a lot of his workers in the red. He lucked out there. One more additional weapons upgrade would have just been absolutely devastating as the Stalkers, Immortals, and Sentries now once again make another move.
And here the Infestors and Zerglings and Banelings here, not enough units really to break TT1 it looks like, but the Fungals are doing tons of damage. 1 sentry left in this, and a lot of Lings as support, and really there's no long-term game at this point for TT1. He's almost committed to go here, and oh my god, the Lings get this around once again, decide to back off and go for another counterattack here because Mondragon knows he's safe at the front. Why not go for the counterattack and do even more damage? And that's probably what he's going for here.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for that. TT1 does have 2 sentries in place, ready to block off with the force field, perhaps even trapping them there. But it looks like Mondragon has another idea of a late Baneling bust. That forge and that gateway most likely will melt apart rather quickly. But that third hatchery that was placed down moments ago or so long ago, finally getting drones, and now TT1 putting pressure on that base instead, as Zerglings taking down Zealots in the midfield, warping in out of position. Those Zealots will get destroyed rather easily, but it looks like TT1 will be able to at least try to even up all of the base play. We're sitting at 65 workers compared to 41 right now.
Yeah, and TT1 drawn up really well. Here come the Banelings, though. That's almost 60 Banelings. That means 15, and they're going. Good force field here. Really messes up the Baneling AI, but they're going for the Forge. And another decent force field, but not enough. The Banelings and Lings get in, and are going to look for a Ravage here on the next mineral line. But looks like enough units for TT1 back at home here to actually fairly handily defend that.
Yeah, right now we also see a little bit of a cute play by Mondragon. Mondragon trying to morph Banelings in the mineral line at the main base. Is it going to happen in time? And able to get the damage, but TT1 was very careful and made sure that only the full hit point probes were actually surrounding it and none of the lower hit point probes. And actually, TT1, even though he has lost a lot of workers, he's doing better than I thought he would, as hatcheries are now being hidden across the map. Mondragon trying to just hide hatchery and make it very difficult for TT1 to try to catch them in position. There are a lot of infestors in the middle of the map with nothing to really protect them, and this is kind of odd that such expensive units are in midfield. Infestors do move at a decent movement speed. That Queen, on the other hand, is not going to move in a decent movement speed. Finally, fungal growth there, and Mondragon losing a lot of units really needlessly there. I don't really know what happened.
Yeah, that Queen, man, that was confusing the hell out of me. Maybe it was a distraction maneuver, a lure, because here come Overlords on the left side, loaded with Lings and Banes, and meanwhile Mondragon is just expanding, so he's continuing to really capitalize on the early damage he did, and he wants to harass more to force TT1 to stay behind and defend his own base, and I think that's a brilliant play. I wonder when he's going to go for it. Back at home, he's just morphing Banelings, building Infestors, upgrading. He's probably going Hive pretty soon, as he knows he's looking quite safe.
Yeah, right now we see also the neuroparasite being researched. We see that swarm of overlords, a couple banelings in there as well, 2 infestors in there as well. So that's a little bit of a tricky play. Perhaps we'll see infestors with the fungal growth as the Zerglings now just trying to run around, making sure to catch any of those zealots there. Army-wise, pretty close in terms of minerals. A little bit of a discrepancy in terms of gas. Mondragon having about 700 more gas, but that is it as TT1 now finally makes his way out with 1 Colossus, some Immortals, some Zealots, and some Stalkers, and still, finally, we had a Baneling drop into the natural expansion there. It looks like more workers were killed, up to 40 or 59 workers now, 70 versus 39.
That was a lot of workers killed, and I completely missed that. But Mondragon looking to set up a flank with this OV drop. He doesn't feel like he can counterattack right now into the base of TT1, so he's just going to use this for defense, but he's going for another Baneling drop. We'll keep an eye on this, and fnatic TT1 looks like he might get flanked here pretty badly as Mondragon is ready for it. The Baneling drop is coming as TT1 is moving into the third of Mondragon, and yeah, it gets a few probes, not too many, but decent damage here. And oh my god, huge force fields go down. This is a nutty game, man. I have Neural Parasite on Immortals.
Yeah, I can't really even describe everything that's happening. The Infestors are now getting caught out of position. The Zerglings now trying to run around. As soon as those Banelings are able to make their way through, there's 1 Colossus who wants to be able to break down those force fields for his own friends and push their way through once more. And it looks like we are going to get another fungal growth on top of all of those Stalkers. Banelings now coming in, and this is just a really crazy off game. Both players not playing... both players just playing kind of sloppy, but somehow still interesting.
Yeah, this is so weird because fnatic TT1 is still alive in this. I would have counted him out actually minutes ago, but he's still in this. He has a decent probe count. He's getting his third base, and he looks like he's gonna really put a lot of pressure on Mondragon. And I have no idea. Mondragon just didn't have. I don't know. I mean, normally, Infestor Ling Baneling is pretty good against this army composition that TT1 has, but I don't know, the force fields just were really good in helping TT1 a lot there.
Yeah, I'm still looking at this, and once again we get another oh, like that's just a really cute play there, grabbing using a neural parasite and then poking apart the Colossus with the range of 9. So it looks like Mondragon was able to at least steal that Colossus. There's still an Overlord sitting over at the natural expansion, and then also the 5 mineral patch as well, or that third base with 5 mineral patches and 1 gas may begin to mine up in addition. So this is still a really nutty game. There is more infestors. There's a lot of infestors, 12 infestors out, and then only 23 Zerglings, and then 12 Banelings. So those infestors are going to be the main composition of the army. And if Mondragon's not careful and he tries to become too cute, those infestors, as we saw, are very fragile and may just simply get rolled over.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Mondragon had dropped his stuff earlier, like where I said he doesn't want to do it. Speaking of drop, he's gonna drop 8 lings in the main, and those are gonna do some damage. And somehow TT1 has a feeling that there is a base on the right, which he's going for. Meanwhile, oh my god, this army movement, I do not understand it. I cannot compute. Mondragon moving across the map as TT1 is completely out of position. He's going for a bust on the base here with those stalkers and meet the rest of the army in the middle. So many infestors are going to do tons of damage with neural parasite and fungal growth, but only infestors are not going to do the trick. Although 2 mind control Colossi really wreck up that army here, but oh my god, infestors gotten so slow since the last patch. And TT1 is looking amazing in this game. He's defending the infestor attack. He's losing a lot in his main, but not really enough to like for Mondragon.
Yeah, okay, this game is a caster's nightmare right now. TT1 has a lot of Zerglings inside his own base, unable to deal with them. Meanwhile, on the far side of the map, TT1 has Stalkers trying to deal with and able to take down a lot of the drones over there at the far expansion, as TT1 was trying to push in the front door at the same time. We see some long-distance mining as well, as the hatchery of Mondragon finally up and running. But both players just a mere shell of what they possibly could be 24 minutes into this, or 23 and a half minutes into this game, or 23:50. And yeah, but Mondragon, I think he just got too cute with those infestors, and now he's paying the price for it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, TT1 is looking great in this. Look at the harvester count. It's even. The income is in favor of TT1 as he's mining from, yeah, 2-ish bases, and which Mondragon is as well. But, I mean, really, TT1 shouldn't be that far ahead. And look at that, 5 Colossi, and those are not... for a second, I thought, wait, that many Colossi? Is that a hallucination there? But nah, I would have seen that. So, yeah, a lot of army up for TT1. He's 30 supply ahead, and there's just not much meat behind Mondragon's army here. No roaches or anything. So Lings and Banes are going to melt so quickly to the Colossi, and many force fields are ready. So really, oh, and Neural Parasite going down the Colossi, and I think this will probably decide the game. Yeah. Oh my god, all the Colossi though doing so much damage to TT1's army.
Yeah, it looks like the Immortals were trying to come in, trying to get some damage, and the Infestor's Neuroparasite has just finished. And there you go, TT1 still surviving with 3 Colossi, a decent number of Stalkers. They could try to walk up that ramp right now, but it looks like he doesn't want to accidentally lose another group of units. Stalkers walking or traveling in the wrong direction there. A lot of units getting picked apart, and the Colossi finally need to make their way back over. An Immortal gonna get taken down. And yeah, this is just really sloppy play. It looks like the pathing every time just not right for TT1, not right for Mondragon, as Mondragon now running off of, I believe, 1.5 bases as well. Income, now he has the slight advantage and a large gas advantage as the Colossus now come into the natural expansion over here. A lot of Banelings are going to be hatched. Force fields are coming in. Banelings now trying to run in as well, able to get some splash damage onto many of those Stalkers. Some of those Zealots absorbing some damage as well, but it looks like I don't know if I want to call this game just because of how crazy it's been, but I gotta say TT1 has a slight advantage.
Yeah, I would give it to TT1, but there's a Ling counterattack going to come in. If those guys can take out a bunch of probes here, that's going to be awesome for TT1. A sentry getting picked up in the middle of the map. Decent loss there for TT1, but here come the... Oh no, all the Lings completely intercept a bunch of probes. And those are not going to see another day. They were just about to go long distance mining, but not for you. And TT1, I have no idea. He's not moving his army, and just a inch away from his army, there are banelings morphing. This is so weird, man. This is the weirdest game I've seen in ages.
Yeah, this I keep on watching this, and I keep on expecting I don't know, maybe a neural parasite to grab a probe and then warp in a nexus coming in from Mondragon, because that's the only thing that would make this game like make sense at this point. Like it's so strange that the only way that it would make sense is if it just continues to go down a very strange path. Colossi
And
now,
look at that.
yeah,
Oh,
just
TT1 completely crushing all the lings of Mondragon. And TT1 is still at 40 probes. I mean, if he can get sneaky Nexus in somewhere, and oh my god, he's going for a Mondragon's next expansion, and I'm not sure if Mondragon has enough army to really keep TT1 from doing this here. There gotta be like magic neuroparasites and fungals to make something happen here for Mondragon.
yeah, right now we have two neuroparasites going down. A lot of zealots and sentries are getting destroyed there. So this is exactly what we need to see. Another force field. The zealots need to perhaps turn around. One more neuroparasite could come in, but no, the three colossi able to stick around. And there's the GG from Mondragon. Okay.
Wow.
I don't know how to break down this game.
Yes,
like
me neither.
okay, so at the very beginning, it felt like TT1 was definitely behind. I think he had a mental block in terms of just like he thought he was behind, he thought he messed up, and I guess Mondragon got too cute with infestors and never got enough roaches. What do you think?
Yeah, mental block on TT1 is a thing that I wanted to mention earlier too, because he's like not very confident right now. He said that on a stream that all of you should watch, by the way, numerous times. And yeah, so that's one thing. But I mean, I felt, as I said before, if Mondragon had dropped all the stuff into the main when TT1 was in the middle of the map, then he would have done, like, he would have capitalized on the long-term damage he had done before with the economic damage, and he could have killed so many more probes. And if he would have done that and then just held on with the spine crawlers he had at that time, I think it would have been a different game in favor of Mondragon.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That drop, instead of going for the drop, trying to do that flank, and that flank would have worked, except for the fact that there were so many force fields down, all of those force fields, and I don't know if TT1 did it on purpose or not, but he left a really small opening, and that actually confused the pathing more on those Zerglings. They were trying to like come through a very, very small opening, and the Colossi were like, okay, on the far right, they were able to get that nice lines of splash damage straight through that opening, and then getting a lot of those banelings. And at that point, that was like the tipping point where Mondragon could have taken the game, and then TT1 just felt like, okay, let me stretch out, let me like reach across the map, take down multiple hatcheries, and oh, maybe I'll even take down a queen that's sitting in the middle of the map for some reason
With infestors?
With infestors, and you're just like, wait, what just happened there? Why was there one queen with 4 infestors and nothing else in the middle of the map to get cleaned up?
No idea. But man, I'm very excited for the next games. If those are just half as cool as this one, then I'm a happy nerd tonight.
Yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for Game 2, TT1 taking Game 1 in this best of 3 matchup. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening.